Good morning, hello, and welcome everyone to the sixth Clean Energy for EU Islands Forum. We are today in the second day. I'm Marina Montero Carrero. I'm the technical lead of the Clean Energy for EU Islands Secretariat, and I also work as an energy strategy and policy consultant at the renewable energy firm 3E. I will be your host today. And I am very excited to be here with an incredibly interesting agenda that we have ahead. Yesterday was a very inspiring day, but today I'm sure we won't let anyone down. The dynamics of the day will be slightly different. During the morning, we will have a session of Islands in Action, and we will be listening to the history of the clean energy transition agenda of the Sres-Loshing archipelago. We will be also lucky enough to have a live visit in the Danish island of Samso, one of the pioneers of the energy transition. After a short break at 12:30, we will announce the 20 selected projects for the technical assistance from the Clean Energy for EU Islands Secretariat, and we will also have an intervention from the Nesoi Island facility. This will be followed by three parallel workshops. First, a technology session. Then also we will have a session on regulatory barriers for 100% clean energy on islands. And finally, a project pitch session where we have selected 5 very interesting innovative projects on islands that we'll be pitching. And we'll have a project board giving a score to them. We will also let the public choose their preferred pitch. Now, before getting the day rolling, I would like to remind all of you that you can use the chat that appears on your right-hand side for making questions. So I encourage you really to take the opportunity to interact with the very fantastic speakers that we have today. And you can also use this opportunity and this forum to expand your network. On the left-hand side, you will see options for booking networking meetings and for visiting the exhibitors area. Now, without further ado, I would like to welcome Simon de Klerk. He is the coordinator of the Clean Energy for EU Island Secretariat, the one that makes sure that everything rolls well and smoothly on a day-to-day basis. He also works as a strategy and policy consultant at 3E, and he has been involved in the Clean Energy for EU Island Secretariat since the very start in 2018. So, Simon, without further ado, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Marina. And welcome everybody to the second day. Thanks a lot for your good introduction, and I'm looking forward to today's program. I think, as you mentioned, we have a very interesting set of speakers. But before we dive into the different elements, I would just like to take a moment to take stock of the Clean Energy for EU Islands Secretariat. And also look ahead at what our program will be for the next 2 years. So if we could go to the next slide. Very good. So I think yesterday we already had a very good discussion and quite interesting speakers on why we are doing this Clean Energy for EU Islands initiative, what we are aiming to achieve, and also what has happened. We had interventions from Mr. Pichula. We had a discussion on success stories on community-led energy transition on several islands, and personally, I found these very, very inspiring. In general, if we look back, so we started in 2018, and by building on also the organizations, activities, and networks that were going on way before this, I think we were really able to make phase 1 a success. Overall, we reached over 100 islands with our activities. We provided technical assistance to around 60 of those. This led to the delivery of around 30 transition agendas, and 17 islands, they even took the step and said, look, we want to show our real commitment to the initiative and also to the other stakeholders on our islands, and they signed the Clean Energy for EU Islands pledge. Now, looking to the next 2 years, we really want to scale this up, make this even bigger, and here really take the words from Mr. Pichula saying, look, we want to reach as many islands as possible. So if we go to the next slide, if you just take stock for a moment of where we've been with our initiative for the past few years, we see that we have quite a wide variety of islands, and we're really looking to increase this in the coming 2 years. And now, how will we do this? There will basically be three main activities for the secretariat in the coming phase. So if we go to the next slide. On one hand, we continue to provide capacity building activities for the islands. We also have a large range of network and communication activities. I think here the forum is a very good example, basically trying to bring together, on one hand, the islands, and on the other hand, the other range of stakeholders that are interested in the initiative. And finally, in order to address the legal and regulatory barriers that exist for energy transition on the islands, we also provide advice to the European Commission and to the member states on how these can be overcome. If we look at capacity building activities, so that's on our next slide. So one more, yes. We basically have two main service lines. On one hand, we provide a general methodology, a framework for energy transition on the islands. Previously, this has centered a lot about this was centered a lot about transition agendas. Here we will continue to grow this, and most of this information will be made available on our website. On one hand, in reports and in written, but also through webinars in which we bring in experts to give specific information about, for example, technologies that are suitable for energy projects on the islands, but also, for example, on community engagement and financing. And what's important here is that this will be for an EU-wide audience. Secondly, the Secretariat provides technical assistance and Energy Academy workshops, where we really work specifically with one island. We tailor our services to the island and see how we can help them individually on their project or strategy. Here, if we go to the next slide, here one word on the technical assistance, and as Marina has already said, we'll have a longer session on this technical assistance at 12:30 in our program. We work according to explore, shape, and act. So basically what this means is that we are inclusive of all islands, even those islands that have only started their energy transition, that are building the coalition, all the way to those islands that are ready to implement, are already in the development phase, looking for funding and financing and so forth. And finally, we do this in full coordination with NISOI. So NISOI is a Horizon project, also providing technical assistance, and furthermore, they provide direct financing for project development as well. We coordinate our work to ensure complete complementarity of our activities. Then, if we go to the next slide. In terms of network and communications, this is also very important to us. We see that there's many islands out there. A lot of these are doing very interesting things, and at the same time, we see a large number of companies, of organizations, of networks. And here we are trying to strengthen the existing networks and organizations that are out there, and also allow the islands to get in touch with the other stakeholders in order to lead to project development. So here we have a range of communication activities that we foresee. On one hand, we have, for example, the forum. We have the video series that you saw yesterday. We will also have a series of podcasts. We have our newsletter in order to communicate all this. And we also provide the opportunity to join the initiative. Here as an island, you can sign the Clean Energy for EU Islands pledge, basically where you show your commitment as an authority or as an organization, saying, look, we want to go for clean energy transition, and we will develop a transition agenda to make this happen. As an island organization or another company, we offer them the opportunity to become a supporting organization. This you do by signing a declaration of support. Then finally, in order to bring together these different islands together with this other range of people in the EU islands community. That can be a technology provider, that can be a project developer, that can be an investor. We've decided to set up an EU Islands marketplace, building on the Smart Cities marketplace that that already exists. And I think here George gave a good introduction yesterday of how this will take place. Basically, we do the matchmaking between the island projects and on one hand these other stakeholders. Most of this will happen digitally, but we also plan to go live during the next EU Islands Forum next year. Then finally, as I mentioned, legal and regulatory barriers are a major barrier for energy transition projects on the islands. And for this, we've a special task force trying to tackle these issues. So here currently, we're drawing up an inventory of policy and regulation on energy for the islands. Here we look at the 15 member states, at all 15 member states in the EU that have islands. And based on this first inventory, we will do analysis. For this, we have specific criteria, trying on one hand looking for replicability and also looking at those member states where the issues are most salient. And for these, we will do a more detailed analysis. This will be based on focus group discussions. And here, the parallel session that we have this afternoon, led by my colleague Lucia, is already a first flavor of what those focus group discussions will be like. So there will be representatives from Portugal, Croatia, Estonia, and Italy already discussing for a first time, okay, how can we really move forward and put policy and regulation in place that's enabling energy transition on the islands rather than being a barrier. Finally, we will communicate this widely both to the European Commission, but also to national and regional policymakers. So this was my short overview. I think we're very eager. We have a very eager team to move forward in the next 2 years working on this program. In order to stay in touch, it's best that you sign up for a newsletter. Here we provide regular information about what our activities are. And besides that, we also have a Facebook and a LinkedIn page where we do regular updates of what we are doing and how you can be engaged. Furthermore, if you have any specific questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us. info@euislands.eu. We're available there for you. And other than that, I wish you a very pleasant first day. I'm looking forward to all of the sessions. It's going to be a very dynamic program. Unfortunately, we're still doing this digitally, but I think we're really making the best of the digital opportunities that we have. And I would like to pass the word back to Marina to continue with the program. So thanks and see you.
Thank you very much, Simon, for this introduction of the different activities that the Secretariat will carry out in the next 2 years. Indeed, we have a very interesting program ahead.